All right, so we have practiced this week so far in lesson 3.1 and 3.2. We've practiced estimating sums and differences. We are going to use that strategy to help us check to see if we're solving the correct actual sum and difference as we continue through our lessons this week. Estimating is really important. We had an example in the bell ringer. No, it was, I think, maybe number 2. Somebody was like, well, I added these numbers, but I got 1 point something. And I was like, okay, but think about like if you round them to whole numbers. 8 plus 2 is 10. So your answer should be more like 10. When you're looking for where that decimal goes, to check to make sure your answer makes sense, estimation will help you see if your answer is reasonable. Okay, the very first one that we're looking at says find 52 and 76/100ths plus 38 and 13/100ths. Check if your answer is reasonable. There's that word again, okay? So estimation will come into play in this lesson as well. All right, so what I'm looking at is a place value chart. It's just breaking it up for you so that you can see all of my digits together. I can see that when I add it all together, it's showing you these partial sums over here. I am not expecting you to add this way. What they're showing is that I have 900ths, and then I have 8/10ths, and then I have, this makes 10. The ones column adds up to 10, and then my tens column is like 50 plus 30, which makes 80. So when I add all my partial sums together, I end up with 90 and 89/100ths, okay? We can add it just like normal, but the most important thing you need to know is line up the decimals. So I want you to make a note right here. Oh, that is the wrong writing utensil. Let me try a different one. Right here, I'm going to make a note. Line up the decimals. That is your number one most important thing you have to know when you are adding and subtracting decimals. Line them up. Gotta line them up. Okay, when we line up our decimals, it will automatically have our decimal in the right place in our sum or in our difference. Okay, so moving down below, we're going to do several problems together. Looking at number 1, I have 3 and 7/10ths plus 1/9. So it's written horizontally, which is forcing me to set my problem up. What is the number 1 rule I need to remember? Yes. Before that, what did I just, yes. Line up the decimals, yes. Okay, I want to make sure that I set up my problem so that the decimals are in line. So I'll have 3.7 plus 1.9. I'm going to add those two together, just like I normally would. And then I'm going to bring this decimal straight down into my answer. See how I keep all my decimals in line. So my final answer is just going to be 5 and 6/10ths. Everybody should be writing as I'm writing. If you're doing anything else, I need you to pick up your pencil and start writing so you don't fall behind. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is 94/100ths plus 82/100ths. How will I need to set up my problem? What do I do first? Rule 1, number 1, always. Line up the decimals. So I'm going to rewrite my problem, set it up like I typically would add numbers together, but I want to make sure I write my numbers so that my decimals line up. So this is what it's going to look like on your paper. Then I just add like I normally would. A little bit of carrying in this problem. What's the most important thing to remember once I'm done? Bring that decimal straight down. So my answer is going to be 1 and 76/100ths. Does this feel okay so far? Okay. Let's do number 3 and number 8, and then I'm going to have you and your tables work on 4 through 7. Okay, number 3, I've got more digits on the top, less digits on the bottom, but what do you notice about the decimals? They're lined up. Do I need to put a 0 the hero in front of the 5?
No.
I don't have to, no. Okay, now if I had a blank space after a digit, say for example, you don't have to write this. I'm just going to give you an example so you kind of see what to look for. If I had this, I should probably put a 0 the hero under the 6 just to make sure I have my digits all lined up correctly. Okay. All right. So let's look at this one, and we're going to go ahead and add it together. 6 and 5 makes 11, carry the 1. Then I have a 5. My 1's place, add those together. 1 and 5 makes 6, and then my 10's place is just a 1. And then let's look at number 8. Number 8 is in the hundreds this time. I have 562 and 65 hundredths plus 78 and 4 hundredths. Starting from the furthest to the right place, I'm in the hundredths place. 5 plus 4 is 9. 6 plus 0 is 6. Bring that decimal straight down. Then 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1. That makes 1 plus 6 plus 7, which is 14. Carry the 1 again. My final answer should be 640 and 69 hundredths. Okay. Let's do number 11. On this one, I have 35 and 64 hundredths, and I'm adding 61 and 8 tenths. This is a great example of when I need to add 0 the hero. Okay, you need to make sure you plug in a 0 there in that blank space so that you don't accidentally add incorrectly. Okay, once I do that, then it's just adding like I normally would. Oops. And I end up with a 97 and 44 hundredths. Okay, you and your table, you're going to do 4, 5, 6, and 7. If you finish those, you can try 9 and 10 also. You're going to have to set those up on your own. If your table decides that you each want to do them on your own and then check with each other, that's okay too. But go ahead and work together as a group to do 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 9 and 10 if you have time. Class, oh, class?
Yes, oh, yes.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and check what we've gotten done. Some of us finished all of it. Some of us finished some of it, and that's okay. We're all at different places. Number 4, I'm just going to add like normal. So when I'm looking at this one, I should have ended up with 0.68. 68 hundredths is my final answer. Number 5, add the last column. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. That makes 3 in the tenths column. And then 5 plus 7 is 12. So 12 and 32 hundredths. Number 6, in my hundredths column, I have 9. Tenths column is 8, and ones column is 8. Number 7, the tenths column is 7. Bring that decimal straight down. Then the ones column is 8. Tens column is 3. Okay, on 9 and 10, just making sure that you line those up correctly. I should have 0 and 17 hundredths plus 0 and 62 hundredths. Line those decimals up. You end up with 0 and 79 hundredths. And then last but not least, I have 8 and 24 hundredths plus 4 and 34 hundredths. Add those together and you get 12 and 58 hundredths. How are we feeling so far?
Amazing.
Amazing. I love it. Okay, moving on. Uh-oh, I just messed that up. All right, we're going to look at number 12 next. Oh, So number dear.
12
says select all of the expressions that have a sum greater than 24 and 7 tenths. So what you're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out the sums of each. So I'm going to have yellow table. I want you to work out letter A. And I'm going to call on you in just a second to give the answer. Blue table, y'all are going to work letter B. Purple table, you're going to work letter C. Peach table, letter D. Teal table, letter E. I'm going to do letter F, and then we're going to compare answers and choose which ones work. Okay. I'm going to pause our video here so that we can do our work as a table, and then we'll compare answers. Okay, starting with letter A, yellow table. What did y'all get?
We got 24.7.
24 and 7 tenths. Okay, letter B is blue table. Blue table, what did y'all get? Hold on just a second. I have a lot of people talking. I want to make sure we can hear blue table. Okay.
We got 25 and 47.
20, say that again. 25 and 47 hundredths. Okay, purple table, y'all did letter C?
We got 24 and 8 hundredths.
Okay, 24 and 800ths. Letter D, peach table. What did y'all get?
We got 24 and 73 hundredths.
Very good. And then mint table, what did y'all get?
We got 23 and 7/10.
Very good. Is there anything wrong with putting a 0 after the 7/10? No, you can leave it there or you can drop it. Okay, now let's look. Which ones are greater than 24 and 7/10? A is not greater than. It's exactly. So be careful with that one. B and D. Those are the only two that are greater than 24 and 7/10. All right. In a minute, I'm going to let you do 13. But with your table, I want you to do the matching. And then y'all talk about 13. See if y'all can figure out how to describe what mistake was made in number 13. So do the matching, number 14, and then look at number 13. Talk about that one. Okay, on the matching, this is what you have. The first one is matched up to the third fish. The orange one is matched up to my last fish. The third pink one is the first fish, and the second fish goes to the purple problem. On number 13, what mistake did they make? Yes.
They misplaced the decimal and it's supposed to be 10.25.
They misplaced the decimal. And it should be 41.30 when you solve it correctly, because here's why. 34.5, 6.80. You put that 0 of the hero there, so it looks like this. Okay. All right. Number 15 is just using a number line to show a problem. It says write the equation shown by the number line. What this is showing is where I'm starting at, 3.7, plus how far I moved to get to 5 and 23 hundredths. So I have 3.7. I'm ending up at 5 and 23 hundredths. So what did I add? 5 and 23 hundredths is my answer. I had to add, this is one whole here. So that's going to be 1 point something. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my tenths. And then if you look really closely, you can see that I moved like 1, 2, 3 tiny little places. So that would be my missing number there. And then to finish this page, number 16, complete the equation with two decimals that are each greater than 20. I could do, here's just an example. Yeah, you could do 30.08 maybe, and then 20.2. That would work. There's a lot of options here. That's just one example. All right, go ahead and close your book. That's it for today.